G'day everyone, and welcome back. Here I'm going to try and do some online translations, hopefully that it'll work well. Today we've got a guest here. It's Michaela Eder, my partner, and she's doing a couple of experiments that you can do very easily with some cress seeds, watercress seeds, and some kitchen paper, some aluminium foil, and a couple of containers. So in Austria and Germany, often in schools and kindergartens, you call cress Oster or Easter grass. It's often a thing that kids have at home at this time of year, and it's quite popular to make various things with it. Here we're going to do a simple experiment where we put some water onto a piece of folded up kitchen paper, and then we're making sure that we've got the same amount of water on the same amount of kitchen paper in each container. And what we've got is Lily here pouring the water onto the first one. So that's all looking good. And then we're going to get the next one done in a few seconds. So again, kitchen paper here folded up so there's enough moisture can be soaked up into the paper. And important is to make sure that you have this more or less the same conditions or same growing conditions for this experiment. Again, here folded up on the base, or actually on the lid of the container, and we're going to pour some more water in here. Again, Lily's helping out, and there's one cup, and then we'll do another one. The next part of the experiment will be to take our seeds now, we sprinkle them over the top. We'll get some help from somebody else here, and I'm not sure, I can't recognize the hand, and make sure that we get more or less the same amount of seeds on there. It doesn't really matter too much. Important is that the moisture content's more or less the same, and that the concentration of seeds is almost identical. So there we go. Now the next step in this process is to make sure they're all spread around more or less evenly. And we're going to then take the lids, or in fact the bases of these boxes, close them up so that they're airtight. So this means that the moisture will stay inside. We close the other one up as well. And the next step requires our aluminium foil. This is going to be wrapped around one of them, not to protect from temperature or anything like that, but to stop any light getting in. So you need several layers of foil to make sure that no light gets through. It's maybe not the most environmentally friendly thing, but you can use this aluminium foil, of course, for other experiments later on, and well, with cooking or something like that. So I'm going to put the last bit of foil over the top, and with that, it's going to be tight against air, or sorry, against light. The difficult part of this experiment is we have to wait quite a bit, and is to try and get the children to be patient enough not to look inside, because the moment you look inside, you change the conditions and the plants start doing different things. So here we've now finished experiment after about 3 days. You can see the cress has grown really nicely in this container in the sun. Both of them have been sitting on the windowsill over the last 3 days, and not direct sun, but getting enough light. You can see that nice green leaves have formed, and now we've got, I think it's Carol is opening up the foil, and then we'll see what we get inside. And you can see whether the plants are able to germinate when there's no light, or whether they just need water to germinate. And this, okay, so here we go, and now we can start seeing. Okay, we have some seedlings here, but they look completely different to the other ones. You can see the on one side they're green, the ones that had exposure to light, the others are white. And those that are white, that were grown in the dark, they're much longer than the green ones. The reason being is that they still think that they're underneath the ground, and therefore haven't switched to another program where they start producing chlorophyll and trying to gain nutrients through photosynthesis. Hopefully this is a nice, interesting experiment that you guys can do at home, and looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Viel Spaß beim Nachmachen und bis bald. Ciao.